I remember I took demo session like with top 1%, like the first demo session before even I pay for the course. And at that time, I had some confidence that verbal wouldn't be like, I don't think it would be much of a pain. But when I did, like, I think there were some 7 or 8 questions, I almost got all of them wrong. So that kind of was like, okay, let's see. And then, to be honest, like, it took time, I would say, uh, more practice. Like, in the start, like, I think Sandeep sir video was really helpful. Yeah, but like, actually, like, the friend who recommended me, he actually did not go for GMAT. But I think my other friends were also at the same time were taking, like, most of them were using top person, and they told me like within India at least, top is producing really good results. So that's why I decided to go for it.
First of
And I,
all, massive congratulations for your phenomenal 695 score and with an 88 scale score on the quant, 86 on verbal, and a 79 on the data insights. So
yeah,
tell us
thank
something
you.
about it. How did you feel when you saw this score flash on the screen?
Yeah, so I was pretty happy about my verbal score, and the quant also I was kind of happy, but I missed one question, so I was okay. I could have done, but DI I was like, okay, so I was kind of scoring like similar on DI, but like I prepared more for DI, but how can I say, like, the exam day questions were quite like
Different.
different from what I expected. Yeah.
Yes, that's
So,
what we've also been hearing from a lot of other students. And I
yeah,
think DI just happens to be a pain point for a lot of people, I think, particularly because of
yeah,
the MSR and the
yeah,
unpredictability of the session, because GMAT also tends to be adapting the type of questions that are being asked very frequently.
yeah.
So, yes, but nevertheless, 79 is a phenomenal score, I believe, for
Thank
data
you.
insights. And
Hmm.
don't really know about the percentiles, whether they are representative or not. But I
Yeah.
think with time, these percentiles will also settle down and you'll see 79 stand at a far higher percentile than the 76th. So I don't think
Yeah,
something we
I
should
hope so.
ignore.
Yeah.
So before we jump into what led, the GMAT, just tell us something about your background. Tell us something about yourself.
Yeah, so so as you know, I'm Bhavan, and I actually graduated from IIT Kanpur in 2022. So I did my major in electrical engineering and machine learning. So after I graduated, I got job offer in Japan. So I moved to Japan like straight out of university, and then I have been working with Accenture for almost now 3 years. So yeah, that's more or less about me.
Great, that's wonderful. So I'm guessing that your quant was already really strong, and
Yeah,
that
it
would
was
have.
okay. So yeah, it like quant was not a, how can I say, like, I was not worried about quant. I was mostly worried about verbal. So yeah.
All right. Tell us what made you choose top as a partner to prepare with.
Okay, so like last year, so I was thinking that I should maybe go for GMAT. Like last year, I was very confused, like what I'm going to do, and so I just thought like maybe I should check out GMAT. And some of my friends, they were already like preparing for it, and and they were based in India. So I asked them like, do you have any good recommendation? What course or material I can go on? And then at that time, my friends recommended me that maybe you should go with top 1%. And so yeah, then I choose to go with top 1%. So yeah,
So a lot of your other friends have also found success utilizing a course material, and I'm sure there would be some precedents that would be set because of which even your course mates, I'm saying, your classmates landed in taking the help of top material, right? I'm
yeah,
working
I
with.
think so. Yeah, but like, actually, like, the friend who recommended me, he actually did not go for GMAT. But I think my other friends were also at the same time were taking, like, most of them were using top person, and they told me like within India at least, top is producing really good results. So that's why I decided to go for it.
So you lightly touched upon how you were worried about the verbal section.
Yeah.
Walk us through that. I mean, how did your verbal improvement journey look like?
Okay, so to start with, like, when I remember I took demo session like with top 1%, like the first demo session before even I pay for the course. And at that time I had some confidence that verbal wouldn't be like, I don't think it would be much of a pain. But when I did, like, I think there were some 7 or 8 questions, I almost got all of them wrong. So that kind of was like, okay, let's see. And then, to be honest, like, it took time, I would say. More practice, like, in a start, like, I think Sandeep sir video was really helpful. Okay, so like the octave, and like it kind of like gave me time to settle things in, like
So
understand things
did
in
you
depth.
get did you get time to go over the KTW videos as well?
No, actually, I was not able to go with them because at that time, actually, last year, my project was like already very like super busy, so I was like barely able to make time. So I was not able to go with them. But yeah, other than that, yeah, definitely the verbal videos helped. But eventually, like, what I realized in verbal is like, at least for me, I improved when I practiced a lot. Like, I had to practice a lot, like go through those pattern again and again, and then somewhere somehow it sets in your mind that what GMAT is expecting, how to think, and so something like that.
Yes, I mean that is extremely important to nail down what are the skills that you are being tested upon. So,
Hmm.
talking about the resources, you would
Yeah.
have realized through your prep that there are certain resources that helped you far more than the others. So,
Hmm.
could you touch upon that a little? What resources were particularly helpful in getting you your desired score?
Okay, so I'm gonna say that, uh, first of all, RC. Okay, so for RC, I think the 700 800 guide by Sandeep sir, it was definitely very helpful. Like, because it covered almost like very diverse topics, and the explanations in that were very good. So I think for RC, it was really helpful. And CR, I think, like CR, it was like not a particular resource. I think CR was more like, I just went on doing practice and practice. So that's how I think my CR improved. But for RC, I would definitely say that maybe the 700 800 book was really helpful.
So, Bhavan, let's talk about where you started from in terms of RC and CR. After having completed the course, you would have
Yeah.
taken your first mock, which is basically to set the baseline score. So, where were
Yes.
you at in terms of your verbal score then?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I remember, but I think I was around like 79 or 80 something.
Okay.
So yeah,
So, it
79.
can be really tough to take your score up from a 79 or an 80 to, say, an 86. What
Yeah,
changed in your approach?
yeah. So when I started, it was like 79 and 80. But like, so one thing was, when I took my first mock, I took it just after like completing all the videos. Okay. And so I had done a limited amount of practice. So my comprehension, like speed, was not good. So
Okay.
definitely, like, in like, how can I say, so when I was trying to do, so either I was reading very quickly, skimming through, and like missing things out, and that's why my accuracy was going down. So I tried that approach few days, but it did not work very well. Then what I realized is that maybe I need to first go slow. So what I used to do is like start the verbal section and like just take my time. Maybe, in fact, in the start, I might like say just reach till 17 or 18 question, but my accuracy was really good. Okay. So, and like I kept doing that, and like somehow after some time my speed also got improved. So I was like finishing almost 20 to 23 and with some decent accuracy. That's how I think my
Accuracy
accuracy.
improved.
So,
Great,
with
that's
along.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Uh, it's happened very organically for you, but for a lot of the other students, I think they have to go through a lot of struggle to get there. So, did you utilize any of the resources like long sittings that have been given out on the portal?
Yeah, to be honest, like long sittings, I almost, like, because RC, I was not sure that I'm good at RC. So I completed all long sittings as well on the resources. I completed, what do we say, there was one more book, I think, RC Guide. within which whatever questions were there, I also completed that. And especially the, like, just before the exam day, I was a bit worried. So I had like questions from long sitting of CR, so I practiced on them just before the exam day. So I think that kind of got me into the zone again just before the exam day, so I was able to do decent on CR as well.
Absolutely. I think that is one recommendation that Sandeep sir gives to every student, that out of those two CR long settings that are available on the portal, you've at
Hmm.
least got to address one, and that is 3 days prior to the exam. Is
Yeah.
very properly given out in the after class action plan, and a lot of our students take that advice really lightly. So that
Yeah.
is an incredibly important thing to do. Uh,
Yeah,
so
because uh, I felt like, so when I used to do mock, so let's say that this week I practiced on Quant, and then say I did a mock, so somehow my verbal score was not that great. And then next week I'm practicing on, say, verbal, so I'm missing one or two on Quant. So I think like just before the exams, CR long sitting, doing that kind of refreshes and gets you in like action. So very good recommendation, I would say.
So let's talk about the mocks now. Did you complete everything that was provided by us on the top mock portal, or were you selectively picking up the mocks and solving them? And I would also want to know, how did you incorporate mock practice in your regular after class practice schedule? Some people happen to take it towards the end. Some of them try to like to blend them in the time frame that they've set for themselves to take the exam. So how did you go about it?
Okay, so like for me, mock was, how can I say? So first I took, once I was done with all the classes, then I took one, I think, diagnostic mock. Is there? Was there? I don't know, like if it already also exists now. But yeah, I took that one, and then I took one from the GMAT official to understand my actual position. And after that, I think I like starting 3 or 4 mocks. I just took like, say, like, I took mock and then I saw like what, where am I weak, and then I practiced selectively on that section, and then I took another mock and saw like where am I weak, and so this cycle went through on, so
So
something
how
like
much
that.
of a difference between two mocks? How
So
time in terms of time?
in terms of time, I would say like, so like, so approximately it took me like, when I was at 6:35, so it took me approximately a month to cross like, uh, 670, 680. I got around 670, 680. And then like it took me another month to cross like, say, 725, 735. But how can I say? But this one was like, so like, when the 725, 735 scores, I my 1% excess was already expired. So this one I bought 2 mocks, the official mocks from the GMAT website, and then I practiced on that. So at there I was getting this score. So then I thought like, okay, I'm ready, I can go for it. But then exam day, like things changed a bit. So yeah.
So you've been scoring a 735, 745 on the official mocks is what I'm hearing. And
Yeah, so I
exam,
scored. Yeah.
so you weren't really pleased by the performance on exam day. 695
Yeah,
is
I felt like, so like the last mock I took before exam was like I got 755, so I was a bit confident that okay, I can go through it. But again, like, so there's some pressure as well on exam day, and yeah, again I think I felt like DI questions were a bit different from what I was seeing on the mock. So yeah.
Bhavan, you've got a fantastic score in your hand. It's a 695. Why not
Mhm.
go in with a fresh mind and just take the mock over the next weekend? I mean, if you've been scoring a 755 on the mocks, that is a good enough indicator that you should be able to score above at least a 725 or a 735 and get that 100 percentile score. So I think that is one
Yeah.
recommendation that I have for you. And is there anything that you've planned in this aspect?
So like taking again GMAT.
Yes,
So I'm thinking like in terms of, so I was actually thinking like if it is required, like if it would increase my chances on
answers.
the universities I'm thinking to get. And So a bit so I was a bit, how can I say, thinking like, so because US universities are requiring like maybe such high scores, so I was thinking that do I want to go US, or if I want to go Europe, then would it be like, I think I might be okay with this score already. So
Yes, it's a perfectly good score, but then considering that you've been consistently scoring a 735 plus, uh,
yeah.
you can have variance at play because of which your score took a hit and you scored a 695. But nevertheless, that is a personal decision. I totally understand. Uh,
Hmm.
so, talking about the kind of time that you took to address this entire GMAT, when did you start your journey? This is a question that I should have asked you right in the start, I believe.
Okay, okay. So it is a bit complex. So actually, I started like last year, and then what happened is like it because like last year it got like my projects were getting like super busy, and so like I couldn't like sustain to study because I was like working on weekend as well. So it got really difficult, and then so like my project actually ended, like my, I think second or third project ended in this year June. And after that my family came to Japan, so I was with them. So after they went back, I started seriously preparing for GMAT again in like mid July, starting mid July. So it took me like August, September, and October. So I had the basics in already from last year, because last year I watched all the videos, and I think like I took like at that time I did not take mocks a lot, but yeah, I had some idea that okay, this is what I'm scoring, and maybe next year I can plan it better. So then like this 3 4 months I just dedicated like, okay, that let's do this and complete it, and then yeah.
Yes, if you have the foundational skills already, I think 4 months
Hmm.
is a good enough time to address the exam, and I think it worked
Yeah.
out for you really well. So let's talk about the test day experience. Was there anything on the test that appeared which threw you off balance, which you weren't expecting,
Okay,
or was
so
everything adequately covered across the entire resources that were provided to you by top?
I think for how can I say, for verbal and quant, I think it was all right. Like I think everything was covered like decently, but in DI, but I think it is in general as well true, because I like to improve my DI. I actually also took like pre-test from GMAT club as well, so that my DI could improve. So in that as well, I was scoring like on DI like 85 around 84 to 85. So like what I was expecting was like, see, like DI I will get DS, which will be like mathematical, where I can score quickly, and then two parts where I will be getting more math and I can score quickly again. But on actual exam day, it was very much long passages and lot of verbal. In fact, in the uh, DS as well, it was like more verbal than mathematics than that I expected. So that kind of felt like I was expecting like I would get like a 83 or 84 in DI, but at that place I took a hit. So
I
that,
think there has been some change to the format where we are hearing this from a lot of students, and
yeah,
that there are a lot of these verbal questions that are being tested on the DS.
yeah,
So I perfectly understand
yeah.
what you're saying.
So that's like also, so I was thinking about reattempt, and then that thing was a bit throwing me like, what if I get again that kind of question? So it's gonna be again effort, and yeah. So
But you're an intelligent person. I'm sure if it is throwing you off balance, everyone else is also having a fairly tough time, I would say. So you
yeah,
could consider a reattempt again if you'd wish to.
yeah, yeah.
So my last question to you for the day would be, what would be your recommended do's and don'ts that you would like to prescribe to future students who would be going through this interaction?
Okay, so my first, maybe I would say, like, let's just start with don'ts, what people should not do. So one thing I realized is that, like, for me at least, I'm not sure how other people, but because like life throws situations at you, but it's better to complete it in one go. Okay. I should not be like, because I started last year and then I had to stop because of other things came in. So like rather, if I would have planned it more efficiently, it could be like I would be done way more faster without like carrying a mental load that I have to do one more thing. So that is one thing definitely recommended. And then the second thing, I think don't for me is that only. Okay, and do's, I would say do a lot of practice. Do like you need to do a lot of practice on every section and every place. So yeah, definitely.
Great, Bhavan. It was such a pleasure interacting with you. Thank you so much for doing this. Once
Yeah, yeah, for
again,
sure.
we at Top 1% are incredibly proud of your phenomenal achievement and
Yeah,
wishing you all the best with your applications.
yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.